Hello viewers, this is Flying Flapper and welcome to more content of Gran Turismo Sport in the Sport mode. And we're doing the Daily Race C with the Group 3 cars, and I've picked the BMW M6. Now the track we're racing on is famous to the F1 Japanese Grand Prix, Suzuka, and we're doing 10 laps around there with fuel and tyre wear turned on. Now this was a really close battle, so I hope you do enjoy, and let's get straight into this race. Welcome guys, so we managed to qualify in 7th position. You notice we've got the A-class drivers in front and behind us. It's going to be a very tough race, and if we do manage to get 7th or better, then that is going to be a great result for us. But as per usual, I'll be trying to fuel save on here, so it'll be interesting to see what the other drivers do. So 3, 2, 1 and let's go. So we didn't really get the best of starts here, and also as well during the auto drive I noticed that there is a bigger gap than normal, so a little bit unfair, but we're in 7th position, trying to catch up with 6th. There's also quite a gap between myself and 8th as well, so it wasn't just for me as well. But so we ride on board with the Spanish driver in the white Porsche in 4th position, and under an intense battle with the British driver, I think in the Lexus just behind. And as we run through the Dunlop turn, the British driver gets a good run on the Spanish driver, going right up the inside and taking 4th position. So good little move there, good driving. As we see the 2nd place driver, Pistol Pete, the British driver, going wide and going up to the hairpin. The Portuguese driver nips in front, however the British driver runs into the side of him, pushing him out wide. Bit of a naughty manoeuvre there. As we stay on board with McFed, as there's a 3-way battle going through 200R and up to Spoon Curve. So as we approach it, the Portuguese driver loses control of the car slightly, goes wide but manages to rejoin the track, losing out of position but into 5th position. And we saw the 6th place driver go wide, so let's have a look and see what happened to him. So as we're going through 200R, like I say, a 3-way battle there, and as he went onto Spoon Curve, he just caught a wheel on the grass and he's ended up cutting the corner, and as he rejoins on the curb, he then spins out. So absolute disastrous for Remco there, and he's lost out on quite a few positions. So we run back on board with ourselves in 6th position. Still a reasonable gap between myself and McFed in 5th. But as we run through to the first corner, get a good exit out of it. Well, a little bit wiggly, but we get a good exit nevertheless as we go through Snake. And like I say, we are short shifting, so we are trying to save fuel, so in a way we're not too bothered about the people in front. You know, we can let them battle it out themselves as long as we stay in tow with them. So as we run through Degner, we get a nice run through there, through 2nd part of Degner, catch the apex nice and power on through. So coming up to the hairpin. Now this is one of the weaker points of the BMWs, that you can't really accelerate as you're turning because you just lose the rear end. So you have to kind of wait until you straighten up the car. And this is where I'm probably losing a little bit of time to the rest of the pack. But as we go through Spoon Curve, ride the apex on the left hand side, the 2nd part of that corner, and use as much of the runoff area on the back stretch. So we ride on board with the 7th position driver just behind me, going down the back stretch and through to 130R, and gets a good exit out of there. But you'll notice the yellow car Senna goes into the back of the Portuguese driver. He will definitely receive a penalty there, and yeah, the Portuguese driver loses out on about 2 or 3 positions there. So through no fault of his own, he's been punished. So just going through the straight up to the first corner. Take that quite nice. And we're going to move on to the replay of Senna in the yellow car. Now, when I said about him getting a penalty, now this race was part of one of the first races I got involved in through the 1.14 update, and really he should have taken his penalty on the straight, but he probably didn't realise that if you don't slow down within a certain amount of time, that penalty keeps building up. So he probably only realised as he got onto this twisty section, and as people were running into him, that was actually building up his penalty. Now there is a problem with Gran Turismo, because people should get notified of when somebody's got a penalty, so that they know that they can go around him, because obviously he's going slow. But yeah, through his stupidity, really, he lost something like 13 positions, which is absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, riding back on board with myself, you see that we're not too far away from the pack in front, and no dramas out of the hairpin either, as we ride on board with Pistol Pete in 2nd position. As he comes up to Spoon Curve, he goes a little bit wide here, and then he catches the curb and it spins the car around, and he in effect has lost about 4 positions there and down to 5th position. And just coming into the screenshot there is myself, so we're actually relatively close to Pistol Pete now. So he's really lost out here, but the standard of racing in this particular race was actually pretty good. Really good pace from the front runners, so you really can't afford to make any mistakes. As we go into Casio Triangle, and almost kind of lose it there, as you could hear from the revs. But yeah, we ride back on board with the Spanish driver in the white Porsche in 3rd, just behind the British driver. As he goes through the first corner, he goes wide and catches the curb and near enough drifts it round the corner, but he loses out to the Portuguese driver, McFed, so he moves down to 4th position. So back on board with myself, and we're looking to really close the gap between myself and the other fellow British driver, Pistol Pete. And like I said, guys, this is really playing into my hands, because we are fuel saving here, and I'm pretty sure that we've got more fuel on board than the rest, and we're still managing to maintain that tow to Pistol Pete. So we're gaining on him and saving fuel. So, and as you can see here, we are really closing that gap now. So coming up to the hairpin, and yeah, we take a good line out of there. I think Pistol Pete went a little bit wide on that exit, which you can't really afford to do. So I think he's really under pressure at this stage. And as we come up to Spoon Curve, again we get a good line in, making sure we ride a lot of the apex and use as much of the runoff area to get as much straight line speed at the back stretch as possible. But yeah, we're getting closer with each turn pretty much, and we both go wide on 130R, but it doesn't really affect either of us, to be honest. and the gap is pretty much what it was before anyway. As we go down the final curve and to the start finish line to complete lap 4 and start lap 5. So again, like I said, really using that tone. You can see now the gap has really come down near enough on his bumper. And as we go through Snake, you know, I'm pretty sure he's feeling the pressure here because he's sort of wiggling about a little bit, and we're not going to make any moves. We're quite happy staying behind Pistol Pete, to be honest. You know, we've got our own race plan. But yeah, as we go around Dunlop and onto Degner, as we go through, in the distance I see McFed go wide, and then Pistol Pete goes wide as well on the second part of Degner, and we surpass the Portuguese driver on our way up to the hairpin, and we take the inside line. As we exit, we kind of lose the rear end slightly as we got the power a little bit early, and the Portuguese driver, having a better run on me, then nips past to regain 4th position. So as we go into Spoon Curve, I catch a wheel on the AstroTurf. Luckily, I was able to catch the oversteer and keep the car pointing forward. But yeah, we've lost a little bit of time to the Portuguese driver. But luckily, we're on the back stretch and we're able to use this slipstream whilst still short shifting. As we go through 130R, the Portuguese driver goes wide. We stay on the track, so we close that gap as we go into Casino Triangle. And then on the second part, on the exit, the Portuguese driver makes a mistake. We close the gap, but he goes straight into the pits to do his fuel strategy, whilst we stay on track and we temporarily go up to 1st place, as it looks like the rest of the field have done exactly that. So what this will do now, as there's no real action here, this gives me the opportunity to look at the replay of McFed to see exactly how he made the mistake on the last lap. So here we see him. He loses the rear end slightly on the bank curve, which gives the opportunity for the Spanish driver to go up the inside. But as they go around Dunlop, the Spanish driver loses the rear again, and the Portuguese driver then regains 3rd position. Unfortunately, he went deep into Degner in the first turn, and then inevitably then carried too much speed and went wide into the second part of Degner, which is where we overtook him into 4th briefly. So we ride back on board with myself, and as you can see, the fuel message has come up. We do need to pit. Now I could have maybe longed it out and maybe put it on a lower fuel mix and got one more lap out of it, but looking at the tyres on the diagram, you know, and even the lap times, you can see that we're losing quite a bit of time now on these tyres. So we decide to go in at the end of this lap, but still hoping we can get out in front of McFed, who is pretty much our nearest rival now. So as the pit crew wait for me to come into the pit, here we go. Just changing the wheels and putting 3 laps worth of fuel in. We ride on board with McFed to see where he is, and he is up to the Casino Triangle, Casio Triangle, sorry. So as he goes through to the start finish line, where are we? We are just coming out now. So we've managed to pip 4th from the Portuguese driver and be reasonably comfortable as well. I mean, he's you know, only a couple of seconds behind, but still, you know, I thought it was going to be closer, to be honest. And clearly my fuel strategy has worked again. So anyone that's watching this video, you know, do look at this video and other videos as well that I've done endurance races. You know, do use that to your advantage, because every one of them I've done fuel saving, and I've always gained a couple of positions from it. So, but now we don't need to fuel save. We've filled up the tank for the rest of the race, so we can now put our foot down and push and hope that our pace is quicker than the Portuguese driver. So fourth position we are right now on lap 7. 3 more laps to do after this one as we go round 200R. And through Spoon Curve, and we take that quite nicely. So on to the back stretch, and you can see, yeah, there is quite a gap between us now. And we take 130R quite nicely as well as we approach Casio Triangle. So we get a good exit out of there and to come across the start finish line. So we skip a couple of laps, and now we're on the final lap. Not a lot really happened, so it wasn't really worth me showing it. But what you will notice is that the gap between myself and third position has come down quite considerably, and even the gap between myself and McFed in 5th place has risen quite a bit as well. So we're in a very comfortable position now. Disappointing that we can't get a podium unless, you know, one of the top guys makes a, you know, a really bad mistake in these final stages. But like I said at the start of the video, 4th position, well, not even 4th position, anything better than 7th position would have been a great result. The fact that we're in 4th position has pretty much shown how good our pace and consistency was, and tying together the fuel strategy as well has really propelled me up. So, and pretty much staying out of the thick of the action as well probably did help, you know. So as we go through Spoon Curve for the last time, didn't actually get the best of exits there, but like I say, we are comfortable. So, you know, even if we did lose half a second, maybe 3/10, whatever, doesn't really affect us too much. So going through 130R for the last time as well, take that quite nicely. And then through to Casio Triangle, and through to the last curve, and we come across the line in 4th position. And like I say, very, very happy with that. Now also as well, guys, this was the last race for me in the B class, because we've done pretty good in the last sort of couple of weeks, getting quite a few podiums, wins, etc. We get promoted to the A class, which I'm absolutely thrilled about. And I hope you can join me on my journey as we get involved in the A-class races from now on. So please do subscribe if you are new to the channel to see more content. And also please do like the video if you have enjoyed. And also do share it with your friends as well. It would be much, much appreciated. Well, thank you for watching, guys. And I really do hope you have a great evening. And I'll see you in the next video.